be accompanied by some awesome co-hosts like Matt Speer from the host of the DUM Show on Spreely and everywhere else you can consume fantastic things. Happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday to you. I was grooming. So, you know, there's a little, you got to check the box, right? I mean, I forgot to do some basic things. I've been busy, dude. How about you? I mean, I feel like my workload is just like exponentially getting bigger.
I think
not my penis, but everything else.
It should. I actually thought about this over the weekend. What I learned years ago. I went to an Anthony Robbins seminar back in 2009, and something he pointed out was like multitasking is one of the worst things you can do. But we multitask.
Yeah, there's no such thing.
I know we do it all the time, man. And I thought about it where many of us are entrepreneurs. Like we have shows or we have other businesses or whatnot, and we have shows and we do several different things. And I thought about it yesterday. I'm like, holy shit, where I have never not multitasked or run 3 different or 4 different fucking things out there. But I'm like, man, now more than ever, if you are somebody who's like niching down, because you hear that from all the gurus, you got to niche down. No, you need to do 2 things, minimum 2 things. And that is absolutely express your voice 100% vehemently for American way of life and capitalism, and make sure that you are either supporting or building or a part of any type of business that reflects those values. Because what we've done, I think, is definitely conservatives for the last several years as we watched leftists do all the work of protesting, burning shit down and all that, and fucking crying like cunts, is we don't do shit as conservatives. And I'm like, man, now's the time more than ever, you know, especially if you're a business owner, you've got to push your business, but you got to push American values hard as fuck, dude. And that's it. You have that going on literally daily.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think there's a difference between small businesses with conservative values and small businesses with liberal values. And I think they hold their political sway very similar to how they run their businesses. And I think conservative businesses want to existentially stay away from the political fray and opinionated biases that find its way into everyday society in their business, because I think conservatives know, Christian values, trying to mind your own business. And we know that there are Christians that get into people's business. My point is that kind of like, don't put your business in front of your, cut off your nose to spite your face. Don't put your personal opinion out there because it can jeopardize. I think with liberal businesses and most people who I've, got involved with from a more liberal sense in their personal politics tend to want their businesses to emulate who they are as a person. And I think it's extremely dangerous. I don't think you should alienate any demographic, because the market share in today is so small because everything's been invented, everything's been created, and people are just duplicating. No new sonnets are being written, no new movies are being written. It's the French fry. It tastes exactly the same everywhere. To me, I just think that you've got to be doing it better. And really it comes down to, are you likable? Do people enjoy your business? Do they enjoy your establishment? And if the answer is yes, 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 and yes, they're going to go there before they go to some guy who's espousing diversity and DEI bullshit.
Should we, I thought I had very briefly in 2020, right before the pandemic hit, I went and got my real estate license, and I found no passion in that business whatsoever. And right at that time, I got to know a woman who was doxxed by, was 2021 was January 6th, right? Or is it 2020?
Yeah, 2021.
So anyway, so January 20, I did get it. I got 2021. At Properties doxed a woman who went to the protest or whatever. It never went inside anything but, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, what does it matter? So I asked the managing partner of the business that I was involved with. I said, listen, if I want to market, hey, I'm exclusively for conservatives, can I do that? And I never got a clear answer. And I know that you can't discriminate against race, religion, even if you're a fucking Christian baker owner. But I'm at the point where I've said publicly years ago, if I teach this or I do that, and you're liberal, I don't want your fucking money. I do not want your headache. I don't want any of this stuff. Should conservatives start playing the liberal game and kind of boxing out them? Because I want everybody's money. But you know what happens, right? Let's just say the DUM Show is consumer driven, and you're like, man, people listen to you because they hate you and they're liberals, like the Howard Stern concept. And then they start calling, your producer, and they want you to change the way that you're listening, or you're espousing your thoughts. Do you run the risk of them you having to change then because you allowed that liberal snake shit into your business by wanting everybody's money and everybody's patronism? Because they're the ones who complain and bitch. Should we as conservatives be going, nah, fuck you, man, you're liberal, I'm not doing business with you? Should we do that?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. In my business, no. I mean, the whole reason, like right now, my overall exposure is to an audience of 359 million. Now, how many people see me on a weekly basis? 1% of that, but that's still fairly large. And how many interact? 3.2 million. So I look at it this way, and the reason why this grew so fast, and even though it's not even close to exposure like Ben Shapiro or Crowder, even though I'd actually had like 3 or 4 weeks last year where I actually beat Ben Shapiro for overall, traffic on Facebook, but whatever, is because my trolls watch and engage more than my most loyal followers. And I've got about 150 to 200 extremely loyal followers that push us, to 200-300 every live show. But I have at least that in haters, and I've collected them. And the funny thing is they don't understand from a marketing standpoint, which you understand because we're both marketers, is when they come, I try to engage with the trolls. These are the people who come in and go, fuck you, liberal, or, you Trump fascist Nazi. And I immediately am going to go ahead and look at their profile, find out what their work history is, find out something I can use to really piss them off. And then I do that. And once I get them to post 15 times, Dom, in an hour, they become a top fan, and then I'm allowed to go ahead and advertise to their entire friends list. So I use it as a technique, and it's fucking crushed for me, dude. People are like, how much have you spent on advertising? I'm like, I don't know, maybe $1,000 a year. Where it comes from is just these trolls. So I think I look at it this way: if you, there's nothing wrong with liberals, right? There's nothing wrong with conservatives. There's something very wrong with these alt fucking right and ultra left people, and they're a very small demographic. I think you can alienate those people no matter what you do, and if you curtail your business to them, you're making a huge mistake. Just like if I curtail my show to those people, I'm also making a huge mistake.
You answered that question pretty damn good for me.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh wow, we finally got this working. We worked out a bug for those who are wondering over the weekend, so everything's back up and juicy. Speaking of loyal listeners, happy birthday to April Schoen. I think it was yesterday. I think it was your birthday yesterday. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday, April.
You and I still got to fight. We're going to brawl on that one. All right, Matt, when you come on, you're a big voice of reason. You got a good balance, good level head. I appreciate that. Now, as a middle American,
now we're going to go ahead and push that to the extreme. Right. Let's find out.
Now, as a middle American, when I find out over the weekend that again a late night session of Congress has another $95 billion going to countries that I don't give a shit about, Matt, how should I? Can you break this down for me? Should I care about $95 billion again? You got Taiwan, Israel, Ukraine. Should I care about that? It's a two-parted question. Should I care about that? And then yesterday, out of my frustration, I put up online, fuck, and then I put a list of things up there that we should say fuck to because they're pushing an anti-American agenda. And when you say fuck to vanilla ice cream, the people come out and say, oh, so that means you support chocolate ice cream. And I have to explain, right. No, I'm just saying fuck vanilla ice cream because they're saying the best. I don't give a shit about chocolate ice cream. When you espouse your disdain for one side, does that arbitrarily mean you're supporting the other side? So there's your two-part question.
So I'll answer the second one first. I just sent you an email. You want to look at this because it relates to this, and you got to play this. It's literally 30 seconds. So let me know whenever you want to do that. No, I'm going to. So the first part two first is to the myopic. Yes, right. To the myopic, the people who have petulant thought processes believe that, for instance, if you say, "Hey, I'm pro Israel," then all of a sudden you're anti-Muslim. It's a perfect example. It's ridiculous. Just like if you say, "Hey, I'm pro-Trump," you're immediately a fascist Nazi. And there's no possible way that you have any medium point that'll allow you to change your mind or listen to anything else. So that's number two. Number one is, yeah, we should care. I don't know if we care from a dollar's perspective, because let's face it, the monetary system in the United States, once it left the gold standard and once we moved from silver note and then put our money into OPEC and change the dollar value to Saudi oil, which is essentially what we did. This is why we protect Saudi Arabia. We know they had 17 fucking hijackers involved in 9/11. We understand that Saudi Arabia has circumvented negotiations with other countries during peace treaties outside of the Abraham Accords. We know they create conflict. We know what they did to Iraq. So why are they our friends? Well, because our entire monetary system is tied up with them. But should we care from a standpoint from fiduciary responsibility? No, because it's all fake anyway. There's nothing real about the entire global currency is just fucked. And it doesn't mean anything because it's all just printed. China manipulates their currency. Russia manipulates their currency. We manipulate our currency. The pound is manipulated. But should we care from the way politicians are thinking about America versus everywhere else? And that, with no equivocation, should be our number one concern. The video I'll show you will just make your head fucking explode if you have a second to play it.
I gotta download it now. Is it wrong to want, you serve this country, is it wrong to want members of Congress to actually show appreciation and love for this fucking nation instead of saying, I don't know who that clown was. Instead of worrying about our open southern border, we should be worried about Ukraine's border. God, is an American border. I don't care. I'm at the point, like if you push like anything from the black nonstop, everything has to be black to nonstop, what is it? Fucking overseas crap. I don't care anymore. The more you tell me I have to care about something, I no longer care about it. I'm pulling this up. Let me see this. Where it's downloaded.
Quickly, I understand the benefits of World War II. I understand the benefits of putting military bases around the world. And people are like, well, that makes us the military police. No.
Sorry, go ahead.
It makes us the military. It makes us the fire department. Right. So the police, very different than the fire department. So this is proactive versus reactive. Police would be a reaction situation where we put military in harm's way versus ensuring that we can flex the arms of freedom and democracy or the republic and simply say, if you guys get froggy, the United States can swat you because we got a carrier group right off the coast. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with that. It's already established. I don't think closing bases is a good idea. I thought Bagram Air Base was a horrible fucking idea. It should have stayed with 5,000 troops and it would have kept peace in the region. Then it gives us a QRF force, a quick ready force to get up, scramble, get out there and address hotspots. But this whole thing where we need to intervene and run proxy war because we don't have the balls to face these countries head on anymore because nobody wants body bags. I think it's a losing cause. I think it's stupid and it's a waste of government funds.
I'm all about threat of violence being used. All right, here is your video. Here we go.
On Saturday in a House session, Gerald Connolly, Democrat from Virginia, sorry to say, had this to say about the border.
Some say, well, we have to deal with our border first. The Ukrainian-Russian border is our border.
Go get your boy, because he's bugging.
Liberals, you may want to come get your boy. He's tripping.
It's a clip from the Don't Unfriend Me show. That's us. When I heard him say that, I was making my morning coffee, and I'm like, okay, now I do not know how to say this without just saying it. All right,
say it.
You're a parent.
I'll say it.
You're a parent. Now I'm sure you have a different parenting style. How do you have? They're not teens yet, right?
Yeah, my daughter's a teen. My son's 10, but they're both close enough.
Your son is 17. He's not a man just yet, right? And he's in the garage, and you've got your dream car. What would your dream car be, by the way?
67 Corvette.
Well,
apple red.
I had a 67 GTO.
Oof.
Yeah, a long fucking painful story about that one. So was the 67 Vet a Stingray?
No. It wasn't a 67 vet, wrong. 67 Mustang, and then the 61, is that the one with the white panel boards, and then it's like always red, convertible, just sexy.
Is that
61?
I like this. I want a 67 Firebird. I
love the
I like the Firebird.
75 Mustang. whatever the Mustang, 75, man. Come on, you know the one. It's always like in all the, the racing, the old movies.
For me, it was like the Better Off Dead car, the 68 Camaro, or he puts his tentacles all over him, testicles all over, tentacles. And
what a great
that guy turned out to be the pedophile.
$2.
He turned Ricky turned out to be the pedophile.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's right. Ricky did.
We knew.
Well, a lot of people during those movies did. I mean, geez, either they were on Nickelodeon or they were on those Rat Pack, the new Brat Pack movies. I mean, a lot of them were weird.
Shit. So your 17-year-old son's got a baseball bat and he's just fucking destroying the shit out of your dream car, right? You know, the Ferris Bueller, you're cleaning with a diaper. Do you let him get it out of his system, or do you restrain him and grab him and go, "What are you doing?" He's old enough to where you can use physical force. What do you do?
Yeah, B.
Okay. Why are we not, and it's a legitimate fucking question, why are we not looking at who's this piece of shit that just said this about the border? What's his name?
He's a Virginia House of Representatives, Gerald some shit.
Why are people not, and it's not a joke, why are they not by force removing is that beautiful? That's my baby. That's a 61. So, and then I'll pull up my Mustang. I'm listening to you. Go ahead. No, I'm not anymore. That's fucking gorgeous. Why are we not by force? At what point voting doesn't work? And I'm not trying to be an asshole to cause a mob riot. I literally want to know if people keep giving money, our Congress keeps giving money to other countries while we had a Chicago cop shot and killed 2:30 in the morning yesterday, and it looked like it was a failed carjacking, and the neighborhood he got shot and killed in has 65 to 70% Hispanic culture. I wonder if it was an illegal that came over that did that, right? Or we have so many carjackings, could have been black, right? So all we do is focus on race, immigrants, or illegal criminal invaders, and all this shit. At what point do we that was from fucking John Wick.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the Shelby. Yeah, it's Ford. Yeah, it's the Mustang.
Or
that's
is that
my
the
grandmother
Shelby?
had.
Is that the Shelby?
No, it's not the Shelby. It's got the paint job of the Shelby, but no, it's the 67 Ford Mustang. And that's what my
Vanilla Sky.
grandmother had.
I think he drove that in Vanilla Sky.
Yeah, isn't that a gorgeous?
Yeah, they're both gorgeous.
Both of those.
Yeah, Ford and Chevy. Ford and
Chevy.
Give me
a Score, or give me a Scout. I love the Scout. Fuck, dude, that thing's like $150,000 now to get a Scout. But I love those, smaller, not the new ones, the old.
I'm a motorcycle guy. No longer cars for me. My point is, at what point do we continue? Why are we continuing to let this happen without a real January 6th happening? I'm not saying that to encourage. But
it's not January 6th. It's that you can't do any good because at any given time, at any given year, on any given election cycle, you're only going to be able to vote out 33% of the House or the Senate or the gubernatorial. And we what we need to do is kind of reset to zero. And you can go ahead and name the 72nd Congress or whatever it is. But all terms need to reset from 0 to 2 in the House. I think the House should actually have a little bit longer. I would give them 4 years so they don't have to fundraise in the first 6 months. I would give Senate, keep it at 6. And then gubernatorial, depending upon the state, it sometimes it's 4, then you have to step down for 4, then you come back in, or you can only do 1 term. Get all of those states to agree on, a reset date. And that way, if Congress is completely dropping, like right now, it's completely fucking useless. The House is useless. They can't do anything. They don't do anything that constituents want. If they're failing, you have the ability to vote the entire ones out. But the problem is you vote out 33%, you go, okay, I'm going to get the cancers out. The problem is it's still there. And there's a malignancy still in Washington that continues to fester. And then overall will just anesthetize and take over the entire body yet again. And you can never get ahead because those political action committees, special interest groups, all they will do is shift their dollars someone else who's waiting in the wings to take up the reins to do their bidding. If you can't punish them completely as a body, they will act as individuals. And that is the biggest fucking thing the founding fathers did not want to do, is create political parties because it focused on the masses versus the individual responsibility. If you focus on the individual responsibility, the groups will follow. But if you focus on the groups, nobody takes responsibility.
I'm a typical middle educated. I'm a community college dropout. I graduated high school by the skin of my fucking teeth. I had a 1.6 GPA my junior year. And my mother's like, you want to graduate next year? But I graduated a 3.8. Which thank God, but
right.
You
were just bored.
I know I was stupid. I'm a dumb kid.
You're not stupid.
Well,
you were bored. Otherwise, you want to get a 3.8.
Oh, I had horticulture in gym class. Fuck you, dude. No, I had art first period. Horticulture was 7th. I was excelled at gym class. We still got great for that. No, I was not a smart student by any means. So that applied later on in life, right? I'm practical. I just do not get how this country, how we are appointing, it's royalty, fucking royalty. Everybody knows the line from the Patriot. Tell me why I would trade one king or one tyrant 3,000 miles away.
One tyrant for another.
Yeah, for 3,000 tyrants 1 mile away. How do we these fucking lifers in Congress? Who are like 90 years old. They amass a wealth that is insane by being public servants, and we glorify them. This is the American people are teams. Stupid. Dude, what's his name? Kennedy. I still can't believe how stupid Americans are who support JFK Jr. or RFK Jr. Can't fucking believe it. Do you people not understand the family that he comes from? That defines establishment family. It's like you don't want, we got away from 1776, man, because we didn't want families running shit. But you got the Bidens, or you got fucking Biden had he basically had two terms, or three. Well, two with Obama, now this one, Clinton and her husband, Bush and Bush. You got fucking RFK, JFK, Ted Kennedy. Now you want another Kennedy. I don't get why we glorify these people.
That's right.
And keep them in forever. So, you know what? Maybe, Matt, we deserve this.
We do. I'll tell you what, for a 1.6, that's pretty damn smart. It's something I've said, just take the last 50 years of politics, actually 73 years of politics, and look at the names. And it's always, there's a tie to Kennedy. There's a tie to Bush. There is a tie to Biden. And you look at those, and it is royalty. You made a very good point. Do we owe some of the responsibility? Yes, we as citizens, we allowed this to happen. The first time that these fuckers didn't balance the budget, the United States citizenry should have come up with pitchforks. The first time they misappropriated our funds, we should come up. The first trillion we lost in the defense budget, and let's face it, 7.2 trillion just has been lost over the last 25 years. Just lost. We don't know where it's at. 7.2 trillion. I mean, do you understand how big that is? That is 7 fucking of those boats, that big convoy ship that went into the bridge, the Francis Scott Key Bridge, 7 of them filled to the deck to the top of cash. It's a football field, $1 trillion fucking dollars. How do you misplace $7.2 trillion? Is it in King Kong's asshole?
Well,
where is it?
When did we do that?
Oh, just go look over the last 25 years in the budget of the defense budget.
Right. No, I'm thinking specifically of the Donald Rumsfeld press conference on September 10th, 2001. Yeah, we can't find $2 trillion. Yeah, and that was unreported.
Well, see, it was actually a little bit before that. Everyone thinks it was related to September 11th, but I'm not going to go into that. That's conspiracy theory. I don't do that shit. But either way, it doesn't fucking matter when it was. It's $7.2 trillion over the last 25 years has mysteriously. You want to know where it went quickly? If Leroy was here, he would tell you. If Mike was here, it goes to CIA annex. It goes to Black Ops. It goes for buying cruise missiles off the fucking black market and Stingers and shit like that and Kalashnikovs. And there is so much cash. And if anyone who's worked for the CIA, anybody who's done any intelligence, anyone who has worked on an annex and put in a country like Mogadishu or Africa or the Middle East knows that the United States government off the record spends billions of dollars quarterly on getting black market weapons off the market. That's just one aspect of the money that we spend that isn't accounted for. There are no receipts. You're not sending in a fucking T&E request after you give some guy $300 million. You literally are just handing him money. bags full of cash. This shit happens in the United States, and none of it's accounted for.
The amount of people who do not understand, even on a local, everybody is always focused and fascinated on the federal level, and they never focus on the municipal level. And I get into this argument specifically with law enforcement. Anytime I do law enforcement content, you always get some trolls. Oh, you're a suburban cop. And I'm always have to go, because you think that LA, Chicago, and New York are the only fucking police out there, right? You have hundreds and hundreds. There's nearly 1 million police officers, and most of them are some podunk fucking town that's got a population of 12,000 people. And in that population of 12,000 people, the government is made up of the fucking hillbillies who run that town. So just like the mayor of Dalton, Illinois, who has been the subject of now an FBI investigation, who she's been spending money at south suburb of Chicago. Everybody pays attention to Chicago. They don't look at the immediate suburb that's only 20,000 people outside of it, where she's spending 30 grand on lavish trips to Vegas from her fucking taxpayers. That's the point, is nobody looks at money on any level outside of Trump and Biden, this and that. Here's a prime example. Chicago. Have you ever been to Chicago?
Oh, yeah. Plenty of times. I went to a boot camp right outside of Chicago.
Oh, yeah. Great Neck Naval Base.
Yep.
Yeah, that's close to where I was a cop. That's North Chicago. Well, that's North Chicago, which is a separate town of Chicago. It's just as big of a shithole as the city of Chicago.
Yeah, I've been to the south side of Chicago too. Yeah, it's a shithole.
Have you ever had to park your car on the street?
Yes.
Okay, and what do you do?
Yes. I don't park my car on the street.
Okay, well, that's a smart move. The bottom line is we have parking meters here. Now, does it make sense to you that if your city has parking meters, that the funds going in the parking meters, where millions of people park all day long, go into the city's needs like infrastructure, road rebuilding, municipal employees, stuff like that, right? Not in Chicago. In 2008, a global financial crisis struck. Everybody strapped for cash, blah, blah, blah. Chicago sold 36,000 parking meters. We sold them to some company. I can't find the name of it. Overseas. It was a Middle Eastern company. They bought it for $2 billion for a 75-year contract. Nobody could find out what Chicago did with that money. And now they're broke. And now Chicago owes them money on the parking meters.
It sounds like government negotiation to me.
Yeah.
It's not. Government is never the answer. Ronald Reagan said it best. The scariest words ever. I'm from the government. I'm here to help. And it's the truth. The people. That's why when people are like 9/11's a conspiracy and they stole the election in 20 people. Until you've worked for the United States government, with respect, this is where I Izzo it. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The government can't find its ass with two hands. They spent $90,000 on C clamps for the United States Air Force, $90,000 to invent something that was already invented. $800 on an amp. Now, the ashtray that they built, that was worth every penny. And the reason why is because when you're on a nuclear submarine and you go 45 degrees to tap, and that thing flies across, you don't want shrapnel and you want it to break a certain way. I get it. Some technology you need to do. But the government, they can't find their ass with two hands, man. I don't know what to tell you. And people think that, they can go ahead and influence poll negotiators, investigators, police officers, watch captains, district attorneys, states attorneys, governors, mayors, to pull that off in the 7 states. The amount of fucking people that were involved in the election process, you're in the tens of thousands. Trust me when I say this, the government can't even keep a conversation between Donald Trump and the president of Ukraine confidential. And how do you expect them to keep 40,000 people quiet on something like this? The government, we give way too much credit. Way too much credit.
I think I was talking to my dad about this yesterday, because he said that something about I couldn't find this, that some cop from January 6th released body camera footage or something of him actually asking for and this is purely coming from my father. He tends to be right on everything he says, but I can't find this, who says that they did call it the National Guard. They were denied all this crap. But I told him, I said, it doesn't matter. You literally could have.
It doesn't.
No, you could. I've told people from this all the way from 3-4 years ago. You could take a verified, like it's no longer CGI or AI generated. You could take the original file footage of the frazzle drip shit and have Hillary Clinton and Uma Aberdeen scaring the shit out of a kid, sawing her face off, and put it on the middle of that jumbotron in Times Square. And people would go, it doesn't matter. We're still voting. People do not care. Yeah. Doesn't matter how much evidence you put in front of them. They do not care.
And not only that. So I knew that this was someday you and I were going to go head to head on this with Babbitt and January 6th. I know how you feel about it. And you're like cold stone. That was murder. And I take the opposite stance. And we can have that conversation. And I don't know if we need to do that today.
I'm willing to listen. We've got plenty of time. I'm willing to listen.
Here's my entire argument, right? Is that January 6th, okay, FBI, okay, Antifa, okay, Ray Epps, all these things, right? Where's the pipe bomber? Okay. There was a guy who worked for the CIA who set fire in the Summer of Love, and he's the one that started BLM. I've heard all of it. Okay. Here's what it comes down to. You're driving in a car and you're with 4 buddies, and one of them's at the stoplight, and they pull out guns and they put on Richard Nixon mask and Clinton mask. And they go, dude. And we're like, what are we doing tonight? It's like, we're going to go rob a fucking bank. You know what I'm going to say? The fuck we are. And I'm out of that vehicle at the first chance I get. And I am not going to, point break this shit. I'm out of there. No matter how convincing Ray Epps was, no matter how convincing the FBI or Antifa was, you still had a conscientious decision that you knew the law and you knew what was right and you knew what was wrong. And I'm not talking about the people that were outside. I'm not talking about the 57,000. I'm not even talking about the people who went into the building. I'm talking about the motherfuckers in the stairwell. I'm talking about the 150 that were breaking and smashing glass, that told the 3 security officers, we're not here for you. You better move out of the fucking way. I'm talking about Babbitt, who went in front of a cop who is not a police officer. That's not his job. That man is on defense. He's on operational security. And he was given a standing order that if anyone crosses that threshold, you notice the doors in front of it, the reinforced glass, the locking mechanisms, everything that said, stay the fuck out. This is the last line. You do not pass. Gandalf this motherfucker. And you cross it. That man's standing order is to kill you. And I've had that standing order. Every person in the military who's done a watch has been told, if anybody challenges you, you give them a verbal warning and then you fucking kill them. That is what a watch does. And he was there to protect. Whether you think he's an idiot for leaving his sidearm in a shitter, which I've done, whether you think this guy purposely, yeah, we all have, but it doesn't matter. The point comes down to this. You went in there. You saw what was happening and you participated. I don't care how fucking convincing Ray Epps is. You made a bad decision. You need to fucking own it. That's called accountability. As far as Babbitt, I didn't want to see her dead. She's a veteran. I fucking cried that night because it's horrible when vets die, 22 a day. You know how much I've done with PTS. But it comes down to this. You crossed a line that man warned you for 11 seconds on that video. His firearm was drawn. His finger was off. His booger hook was off the trigger. The moment that you encroached upon that, it's not you. He doesn't know what you have, right? And she wound up having a knife on her. No big deal. Wasn't a threat. Obviously, a lot of people have pocket knives. But it's not her. It's the second person that comes through, and the third, and the fourth, and the fifth. And if you think that they would not have overpowered that guy and grabbed his firearm, I don't know what you're thinking when these guys have fucking zip ties. You're not there for a good reason. And I can't stand fucking conservatives that just make these excuses for these guys and say, oh, well, they're patriots. No, they're not. They're fucking criminals. And they deserve to be in prison. And that's it. That's my opinion.
No, and there's certain caveats to what you said that I don't know. Was Byrd, is Capitol Police, are they federal?
They are, well, yes and no. They've got city oversight, but they are a federal entity. And Capitol Police, there's some there that are there to essentially do what every cops do, which is to protect and serve. But if they are on a defensive standpoint, he's in a suit. He is essentially on guard duty. That's his job. And that was his order, was to defend that area. And I've talked to 3 Capitol Police that were there. And the big message that we hear are 3 things. One is that they didn't know what the fuck to do. The number one thing that was going over radio traffic from Secret Service and Capitol Police the night before, and I was on live, and I actually had 2 Capitol Police and the Secret Service guy message me, and you actually see me get the message on live that says, hey, don't let these fucking kids come down here. Is the first thing is that the Capitol Police said they didn't expect conservatives to riot. Conservatives don't riot. Donald Trump supporters don't riot. What the fuck? No conservatives in the history of fucking politics have rioted. They didn't expect it to happen. No matter what anyone says, Capitol Police were not prepared. So the message when this happened was, let them in, fuck it, they're not going to hurt anything. The second message was stop them at all costs. And the third message is, I don't know what to do.
Conflicting orders.
There was conflicting orders. So some let them in, some fucking stood firm, and some were like, we're just going to kind of backpedal and retreat our ground. That is where the miscommunication happened. And when some people say, hey, it was just a peaceful fucking trip through it was.
No, all that though, I can't, if I'm looking at this from a municipal point of view, I cannot defend whatsoever his actions, firing 1 round into somebody who's behind a crowd behind him, because you're responsible for all of your rounds that go down range. I don't know the distance from him. I don't know how accurate of a shot he was. Everything I'm breaking down didn't render aid, put a round in her, left off. No property. I cannot picture one cop on the planet who would ever be backed by their department for using deadly force to defend property. Now, if they're federal and they have the lawful authority to take preemptive use of force by, terminating somebody's life-threatening behavior, which you said she had a pocket knife, but it wasn't a threat. If that's the case, then I cannot get behind the fuck did he shoot her for? And I get the whole concept.
The 100 behind her was a threat. The 100 behind her. Here's
the deal. If he's got 14 rounds in him, okay, and so he puts down 14 people that all come through that window. What are you doing about the 15th and the other 100th? So
you had multiple guys in position down hallway who were also armed. It wasn't just
from a municipal point of view. You can't articulate. Yeah, I shot her to intimidate the crowd not to coming through or to slow them down. You can't do that. So if he's federal and he's got a different structure of laws that he can work through, then that's something I don't know about. But from that, if it's me on that call, and I got that, and I'm plain clothes for my department, and it's the town I work for, Village Hall, and we got that, and I'm fucked. If I can't articulate to the court later on while the state's attorney is charging me going, why'd you fire a round? Well, there was 100 of them outside. They didn't like the mayor's new no fishing thing on the fucking lakefront. So they were well, why'd you fire it at 1? And why did you only fire 1 round? You had 3 magazines out. You should have emptied them into them. So I can't defend his actions at all.
But he's not municipal. It's federal.
That's what I said. Right? Yeah, I don't know the difference with that. I've no federal.
Their state legislative branch ultimately assigns the Capitol Police funding and budget. And here's his defense, because 1 shot is all it took to stop the threat. I mean, was the last line. That area was where they kept the senators and the state representatives and secretaries and any type of legislative body and, interns and everything else were held up in that hallway. And that's why people were going into it. That's why they specifically said in the video, we're not here for you. You need to get the fuck out of the way because I can't stop them from hurting you. So, here's the thing.
Did Byrd have that knowledge?
He had his orders,
but
he didn't have to have
another thing.
Knowledge.
If Byrd, it would help him. If Byrd had, I heard on an open mic that they said, we're not here for you, and we can't stop them from hurting you. If he hurt, that would help his case. But if he didn't,
intent isn't necessary when you're running operational security. It comes down to that as a secured area. There was plenty of notification. There was fucking chairs in front of the door. They were saying you do not have access to this location. It's just like if I was to break into a
view on that one,
skiff.
though, fuck all of them. To be honest, I look at it this way too. This is my viewpoint too, because the more you're saying that now, the more when you say that now, and then all of a sudden we move forward to where we're at now in 2024, I don't give a fuck. Fuck these people who think they're elected officials and their lives are more important than mine. So now we have this. Now we have the Capitol Police who are federal who are allowed to shoot somebody for threatening their mere presence may threaten the life of a what? Of a fucking congressman or woman who is making millions of dollars a year when they got employed to be making what, $100,000 a year, and they are now the fucking gods of our country. To be honest, fuck them. Fuck them. In my opinion, fuck all those Capitol Police. I think they were, from the videos I've seen, piss poor tactics, a bunch of fucking pussies, and for them to let them people in and shit. That whole thing, and anybody, oh my God, there's 6 police officers who were killed. I'm gonna tell you flat out.
No, there wasn't.
No, there wasn't.
That's
A, there wasn't. That's a lie.
There's a lie. It's a lie.
I think, this is my opinion, 6 of them killed themselves.
Yeah.
I 100% think it was pressure from their command going, what happened? No. This is what you're going to say happened, or we're going after your fucking family and pension. I think those men were pressured into fucking wanting to tell the truth on some shit, and they offed themselves out of fucking fear. 100%.
I don't know the answer to that question. And I think there's an emotional argument here, and there's just the facts, right? And all I'm trying to do is state what happened and how it was misconstrued.
I wouldn't have gone. If people ask me, you're going to go, I'm like, yeah.
Right.
I told people, fucking Morgan Ariel, the last time I talked to her, she sends me a text, are you going to January 6th? I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? I told these people not to go. And then I got from some of them, you're not a patriot. Well, fine, fuck you, stupid. But you still have today, 1,000 people are being investigated for being there. It's just like your analogy is perfect, because the way I looked at it was, you're on a field trip to the Field Museum in fucking 7th grade, and a few of your asshole friends are like, yeah, we're going to go and cut up the Mona Lisa's here from France. Are you out of your fucking mind?
We're going to go into the fucking zoo and go in with Ling Ling and go fuck with the pandas.
All the time. All the fucking time.
I mean,
we never did it. I don't like peer pressure. And sadly, I watched the documentary, I think Vice News did it before they collapsed, on Joe Biggs. And I'm like, Joe didn't do anything. And I'm watching, I'm going, I don't know. Because purely by Joe's presence, his voice, and and this is the double standard. I think that there's an argument to be made for, it's as much as I condemn Stu Peters, right? For saying, we're going to try Fauci, convict him, and hang him by a length of rope until he is dead. So if I give shit to Stu Peters for that shit, knowing that one of his fucking sycophant fans could go over to Fauci's house and kill Fauci on behest of Stu Peters saying that, and Stu should be held accountable, I think the same thing applies to Joe. Because Joe did come up with some shit, and I watched that documentary, I'm going, this is not really good, man, what you're fucking doing.
Look at some of those messages. Messages he sent. I mean, it was clear, direct. But here's the thing. Ray Epps should be in jail for the rest of the fucking days. I mean, honestly, if Biggs gets that term, then Ray Epps, dude, should be you saw the video. So I can be impartial in this, right? I can say this is fucked up, dude. I did an article on the J6 grandma. Some of the way they're treating these people, they're throwing the book at everybody, and it's Gestapo tactics. Everybody, intent is never considered, but it's considered for Hillary fucking Clinton. She didn't intend to steal a server. She didn't intend to fucking obstruct justice. So I agree. I'm with everybody. I understand. I've said we need an open revolution in not just from the local and state level. But at this point, if it doesn't work, we need to criminally go after these fucking people, and the states need to come together. But there is a but to this. You can look at it and say J6 had a whole bunch of things. It had some things that weren't bad. It had some really fucking bad. And then it had a criminal element to it. And you got to weigh it all differently because it was a dichotomy of multiple things that took place. It wasn't all good, it wasn't all bad, and it wasn't all fucking peaceful. But anybody who says it was peaceful, they're only watching the shit on Fox News. You really have to take a look at everything.
No, there was.
And
I don't give a shit when you start breaking glass and shit. That's not peaceful.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with that at all. I am not a big fan of what happened on January 6th at all because I don't like half measures. My view is if that Wisconsin 3 a.m. shit was 100% legit, if they did across the board have, because I watched the 16-hour Dr. Shiva and then this other fiduciary from, I think they were in Arizona, talking about Shiva with 3 fucking degrees from MIT makes the most compelling argument for how there was voter fraud. If there was, and it was 100% clear, I mean, beyond reasonable doubt, I would say burn it all the fuck down. There's no question. If our government allowed this shit to happen, there's no question. Moving forward, that's a big if, right? You have to prove it. I mean, it's got to be fucking, it's got to be the smoking gun. Joe Biden, you got video of him raping his daughter in the shower at 11 years old. Then all of a sudden it's we need to hang him right in the middle of the fucking public square. That's the problem I had is they're so good at just, a lot of stuff is assumed.
Preponderance of evidence is not good enough in criminal, right? You can't do that.
No, you need facts and evidence.
You have to have the smoking gun, and you don't have it. And that's the problem, why they can't get dude, he had fucking, how many shell companies has Biden had? The question is this. You are a fucking representative of the United States. Why do you have shell companies, which is used in blue and white collar crime all over the world? Why? Just tell us why you have those.
I want some enterprising sheriff, because there has to do this. Since we have state's attorneys or DAs in New York that will arrest Trump for shit, right? On a municipal level, then Hillary, if she was in DC and let's just say she emailed the person about the fucking what was it, the Resurrection Chamber of Gilgamesh, and that person was in a conservative state, was in Texas. If that email touched base in Texas, I want whatever sheriff of that conservative county to fucking arrest Hillary.
This won't happen.
But that's the only way shit gets done. And I want them to go up to her, and the Secret Service fucking stands down and says, you know what? No, you got to hook her, and we will fucking hook her for you. That's the biggest problem that comes back to my frustration is the two-tiered system of justice bullshit and the lack of evidence that equals a prosecution is going to lead. And there's two avenues from this. And people better pay attention. You have the one thing, which is all women are sacred, whatever their fucking words are, right? Oh my God, Matt Speer raped me in 1998 and blah, blah. Okay, all of a sudden Matt's got to go on trial for something that fucking never happened. You have that, and then you compound that in the two-tiered secret of justice. It is going to be, you go shopping, you pay for your groceries, you leave. 2 years from now, some guy goes to the fucking county state's attorney and says, I saw Matt Speer not pay for a gallon of milk back in fucking 2024. And then all of a sudden you're arrested with no investigation whatsoever because of your views on TV. That whole thing about DAs and state attorneys, they look for the person first, then they find the crime to prosecute. And
that's correct. You go digging for garbage, you're going to find it.
It's going to happen, and it's going to happen because you're setting this fucking standard.
It already happened. It happened with J6, dude. And here's the other side of my mouth. I mean, you can look at it, from multiple viewpoints. Is everything posthumous from J6, the way that this was handled and some of these investigations and the people who were pulled in? I've seen some of this shit. Like, we work with somebody who got completely fucked by the United States government and the social media channels. And I'm just like, I'm with you, man. It's already happening. This happened with me with CPS. I mean, they didn't like my podcast. That's why they came after me.
Blows me.
And this is why they fired the entire CPS office. It's because it got seen and people are like, holy shit. So they started looking at cases and they were going after white conservative males.
And
they got cleaned up.
I don't think anything is going to, this is just my frustration speaking. all I have to say is this: Caddyshack 2. What was his name? The fucking crazy brother of Dennis Quaid, Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid.
Yeah. Oh my God!
I've seen his stuff.
Right. So for those who don't understand the reference, because I know you do, it's Randy Quaid, who's the lawyer in the movie, is on the phone and he's going, "Hard to say, huh? Is it hard to say? My God, there's a man in my office with a baseball bat." I mean, that's what we're talking about. At what point?
It's just really good. He sounds just like him.
I fucking love that movie. At what point does people not know that if you do something that affects the lives of others, which every government employee has the right, can't do, that there's a chance that some angry person is going to come in their office and fucking Louisville slugger your head. And maybe, postal. Do you remember we used to call it going postal in the 80s?
Yeah.
So people didn't fuck around with their coworkers because you knew that shit, one day this maniac's going to come in and shoot the place up. So you acted kinder to more people. When you have a threat of violence, shit works better. It just really does.
Well, that's how you get everything. That's what the government does to us. I mean, look at the IRS, right? Pay or else. It's like, it's a voluntary system. No, it's not. You fucking send me to jail for the rest of my life if I don't pay taxes. Let me ask you a question. You remember the stories of people running on the White House lawn and jumping the fence and getting shot?
Yeah, that was not too long ago.
Yeah. Right. And you saw the guy that was, drove it happens all the time, right? So this isn't something, they do lockdowns all the time. People scale the fence. But you've seen people go and pass the bollards. I don't know how the fuck
do they scale it? They've got the guys with the fucking fully automatic they're ARs out there.
Well, it's better than ARs. They're running M4s, but and 308 fucking sniper rifles, and they've Secret Services up there with sniper rifles, and you got ex-MARSOC guys. But it's not the point. The point is you see them run the bollards, you see them run the Capitol Police stations. People get shot all the fucking time who try to storm and get past Capitol Police. When those Capitol Police draw their firearms and kill those people, nobody says a word.
No.
Capitol Police is very different. And this is just the only thing I would say is I wish that groups like Q and the people who profited, same thing they're doing on the Jews right now, is profiting off of this war by the most popular thing is to be anti-Semitic right now. It's hate Jews, right? It's good money in it. People are doing it all over the fucking place. The same thing with J6. The vote, they jumped on this bandwagon. And as every podcaster and every talking head it was stolen and fucking, Dominion servers and Buenos Aires and George Soros and, all this shit. And watermarked ballots and fucking Dinesh D'Souza making a $29.99 paywall over this. Dude, people make money. And people like Ashley Babbitt were just who suffered from, serving overseas, who had clinical depression, who had, was help with PTS, believed in something that she felt she should give her life for because she made a note to the Constitution. I think those fucking people who were involved in that, those fucking people should burn in hell for the rest of their lives. Those people who spread a lie with no information, who are doing it now, are just
whatever
saying,
happened to Austin
Palestine.
Steinbart? Austin Steinbart still around? He was baby Q.
I don't know. Yeah, well, you look at fucking at-war clandestine. He did the same thing with Ukraine with fucking, and it's the verbiage, not biolabs, but there's fucking 375 biolabs in the world. There's secret bioweapon labs. And I'm like, no, dude, Ukraine doesn't have bioweapon labs. I'm so sick of this bullshit.
Yes, they do. That's where they harvest the adrenochrome. Don't you know that?
No, fuck me, dude. I swear. You know what? I got a sidearm right here, and I'll fucking end it all. Just stop. And I know you used to dabble in that shit, but you don't anymore.
Dabble in it? I was.
Why did you stop?
Because I fucking smartened up. I looked and I went. It was people were sending. Here's the one thing that got me. There was audio tape of Marla Maples is Trump's second wife, right?
I think so.
Marla Maples and Tiffany Trump is his daughter, and they had a round table where both Tiffany Trump and Marla Maples were on the phone with somebody from U.S. high government saying that they, in their hands, have proof that the Italian government did hack the voting system. And I'm like, holy shit. And when nothing ever happened from that, I went, if nothing's ever going to happen from that, nothing will ever fucking happen because it probably wasn't true. And not to mention the fact, I do believe, and this is my one viewpoint, I do believe there is massive, nefarious, satanic shit going on. And
no fucking doubt.
There's
no doubt.
It's the Charles Grodin thieves aren't breathing down your neck shit. So you're going to tell, if it comes down to voter fraud versus people actually sacrificing children still, I'm going to sit there and make you sound so fucking crazy and start defending voter fraud so you don't pay attention to the real shit that's going on anymore. That's what I think they're doing, to be honest.
Every society has fucking people who are crazy. Okay. And every society has people who are crazy who will follow other crazy people. I mean, we've seen this throughout history. The government does a great job with disinformation. I mean, Ruby Ridge, David Koresh, they can make excuses for these things. And then they're like, oh, sell it to the public and make a fucking CBS, midnight series to put on TV. But not everyone who does things are trying to overthrow the government, right? Not everyone that says something, but there are legitimate threats that the government needs to address. My point is that all you got to do, and I've tried to tell people this, and I have time, is it's real simple, 30 seconds. When you get a story, don't fucking buy it. Just read it and do not disseminate it. Don't process it. Just read it. And then what I want you to do is I want you to change the way you think. Instead of having little bits of information build up and then your mind is changed to agree with what you're reading, I want you just to find one thing that's inaccurate. It could be a date. It could be a name of a person. It could be a situation that was described one way and is another. And you have incontrovertible evidence of something contrary. You have caught somebody in a lie. And if they lie once, then it gives you the ability to go see it again. This is all I do with these J6ers. Like, there's a military tribunal, there's fucking lizards, and Hillary Clinton's a lizard. Fuck all y'all. Well, you're all full of shit. You're fucking liars. Dude, you're liars.
I don't know about the lizard thing.
Oh, fuck. Come on.
Dude,
don't even start with me. Don't get my blood pressure
up.
You
fucking grew up on V with fucking Robert Englund and what was his name?
It's a fucking TV show. It's like a Mark Singer and Michael Ironside. I remember. I love that show.
They probably, if you notice, the biggest genre, the two biggest genres of films always, forever, are both aliens and zombies. So that when it fucking happens, you're so desensitized. Holy shit, there's so much we can talk about.
There's unicorns too.
I guess there's unicorns in the Bible. We could have talked about the guy who set himself on fire. We also could have talked about
the fact, so much.
Dude, Boeing, and how they're saying that the reason why this Boeing conspiracy shit is going on is because so when Trump's airplane falls apart out of the sky, you'd be like, oh, well, I guess we should have saw that coming. That's how they're going to take it.
Yeah, we should have. If you would come on my show, we could talk about these things.
I can. Mercury retrograde is over. When do you want me to come on?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
All right. I'm free all week. So anytime you want. Guys, that's it. Go follow the DUM Show on Freely.com. Join the social media. Send me a little bit of a message there and say, hi, how are you? And whatever. You guys got something you want to add, complain, rant about? 708-982-0974 is the rant line. You can go ahead and bitch about anything with a voice note, voicemail, or text message, and do all the things that are necessary for this. It's as simple as that. Have a great damn Monday. We're glad to be back. Fuck Mercury retrograde. It was real hard. And we're not out of the woods just yet, but we will be. Go do something for somebody. Help them. Helping them is the greatest thing you can do as a human being. And if you can't help them, don't fucking hurt them. What is it? Close that. What do you got?
I think I'm going to get more hate mail than you this week. We'll see what happens.
Oh, I don't give a shit. Email Chelsea at Spreely.tv. She'll laugh at you.
That's right.
Later.
That's right.